I will tell you another thing that happened to me. Sometimes these things, as you look back on them, you almost recognize that they're a gift in life, and I would never, ever have said that having that disease is a gift in my life. But we are here to learn from all of the things that are thrown at us in life. Sometimes we don't like them. I just as soon not have this disease. But what is it that we learn from having our problems? And one thing I have learned is that everyone has a problem. I'm not alone. Everyone in this room has got their own burdens. Mine happens to be multiple sclerosis. Yours could be something else, breast cancer, a husband that you've lost, financial problems, any kind of social or medical problems that just come our way. Live life long enough, and you will have your burdens. That's what I learned from this disease. And I learned in a sort of a collective way to understand people more and to understand what everyone is dealing with. I look out at this room, you all look happy and smiling. You know what I know? I know every single one of you has a bag of rocks over your shoulder. Every single one of you is carrying some burden or another. That's what I've learned. And the other thing I have learned is that we need to learn to lighten each other's burdens. We're in it together. Life is wonderful. Life is worth fighting for. It's also much better if we fight the fight together. So here we are. I mean, off in Salt Lake with all of these interesting things going on in our life. And when I first came to Salt Lake, I was having difficulty walking. I was okay though. I mean, I was a little unstable and I was weak. And not as bad as some people get, and I'm grateful for that. But nonetheless, I was quite frightened. I started going back to something I loved in life most, which was horses, and decided that if I was going to be in a wheelchair, by gosh, I was going to get on a horse before they were going to throw me in the wheelchair. And if they had to Velcro me in the saddle, that was fine. I was getting back in the saddle. And amazing things happened because of that. I started getting stronger. I started regaining my balance. And I was also doing other things. I have to say, it wasn't just riding the horses. I was doing alternative therapies and acupuncture and reflexology and yoga and lots of things. And I was on some medication as well. But combined with all of that, when I came to Salt Lake, I was as weak as a kitten, could barely walk. On the 2 days before the game's opening ceremony, Salt Lake had chosen heroes to run the torch along the course as it wove its way across the country. And Mitt chose me as his hero to run the Olympic torch. So I had the honor of running in the torch into Salt Lake City. And it was, again, if you think of the success Mitt was having in the games, it was on a personal level, such a personal success for me to be able to take that torch and have my family members around me and friends cheering me on the side as I ran that torch into the Salt Lake Games. And that was, again, a momentous thing in my life to be able to have that accomplishment. So for me, it was quite a journey. And again, you never know when you step off a cliff like we did what the outcomes will be. But isn't life interesting? Sometimes when you think you're taking the biggest risk and jumping off and not having a parachute, sometimes the most amazing things can happen. And I've seen that happen over and over again in my life and in other people's lives. So it's an amazing time we live in. I am confident that my life experiences and Mitt's life experiences have prepared us well for what we are about to go through. And I am also have to tell you that I have loved being on the campaign trail. It's been amazing for me to be able to go across the country. I wish I could take all of you with me. You would love it. Going across Iowa, going to small towns in Iowa, going to small towns in New Hampshire, coming down here, you meet friends in life that you never would have had. You gain an appreciation for this country. And don't believe all of the bad newspaper reports. This country is really still very good. So Mitt and I are optimistic about the future of America, optimistic about people struggling in their lives and being able to overcome burdens in their own personal lives, and recognize that this is a fight worth fighting for. We have been blessed in our lives. I truly believe that. And I think that this is going to be an interesting election. I do believe Mitt will be the nominee, and I do believe he's going to win the whole thing. I also happen to know that it's people like you in this room that make it happen. It doesn't happen by ourselves. We know that. So I am very grateful for the work that all of you do and how hard you, I just know what it takes. We go to events and Mitt and I just show up and it's like there's 300 people in the room. Well, that doesn't just happen by accident. It's because of you guys in the room that are on the phones beforehand and calling people and getting people out. So we appreciate it. We understand how the process works and how tough it is. And I have gratitude in my heart for people that are willing to come out on a Saturday morning and sit through all these meetings and do the things that you know are going to make a difference for the future of America.